Okay, I hope you guys are doing okay. Just give me a second and I'm going to get everything kind of set up. Okay. So I want to work on this portrait. I wasn't really sure if I was going to go live tonight because I haven't been live in a little bit. I don't think, did I go live last week? I don't think I did. But yeah, I just kind of want to paint. I feel like I should have painted early this morning, but I don't know. I kind of regret it. I should have painted earlier this morning. But instead I was playing chess and I feel like a lot of times I get distracted by doing other stuff that I don't, in the long term, I don't care about, but it's like kind of fun. So I need to get on top of that. But you know what? I made time right now, so that's good. That's great. But I do also feel like this is kind of an excuse, but I feel like I've also had a lot of opportunities this week, and I've had a lot of time this week painting. Not necessarily like on stream painting or like video painting or painting that moves like a career along, but like I've done some painting today or this week. I think I left my good bowl downstairs, I think. Yeah, I think I did. I think I left my good bowl downstairs. So I want to transfer the water. This can be dangerous. Transferring this dirty water into this. And then put clean water back in here. Ooh, okay, this is a dangerous bowl because it pops out. Let's put this back here. Okay. Also, I feel like it'd be awkward not to mention it if we just got around the subject, but the reference is like two different photos put together, and the model actually was from she was actually a nude, but I didn't really want to paint her in the nude. I mean, that's like a part of art, but I didn't really feel like doing that today. I kind of just wanted to draw a pretty lady in a dress, so I had to kind of improvise about what I wanted the dress to kind of look like, but I mean, how hard is it? How hard can it be to just kind of improvise a dress? Okay, I just want to mix up a skin tone, relatively light, the lighter value on her face, so this kind of section. Actually, no, I'm sorry. First, what I should do is do an outline, or just an overall shape kind of, situation. Here's my red paint. I was wondering where my red paint went. But yeah, I was saying I don't feel as bad about like kind of slacking off a bit because I have painted quite a bit this week. I went to this event. It's supposed to just be like a paint and sip at the college, but I was able to actually like do a relatively like kind of academic painting while I was there, so that feels good. But I still don't feel very like I don't feel very skilled. Like I feel like I can make good paintings sometimes, but not that it's by accident, but I almost feel like they're not. Like I don't necessarily feel like a tactician, you know what I mean, when it comes to painting. Let me just. Like I'm not sure if you've ever heard the terminology, but like or the phrasing. But there's like a quote or something that goes like normal people go until they get it right, and then champions or like exceptional people go until they can't get it wrong. I feel like I've definitely done the former of just going till I get something right, and then like being like, okay, I learned it, I got it. But I think it would be better if I like painted with the mindset of like painting or studying a particular subject, like whether that be portraits or whether that be hands or something until I can't get it wrong. Like until it's like muscle memory. That's when I shouldn't stop learning about that until I have it down pat like that. And I don't think I've done that. And I feel a little bit like maybe I don't take my art as serious as I should. I mean, I know, of course, like I could literally have a whole. It's actually kind of crazy. I could literally have a whole. This is what I do sometimes. I could legit have like a whole nuanced conversation with myself. Like I can play pro and con to both any conversation that I'm having with myself. But I feel like, on one hand, people say like, like relax, like the art's the fun part, and there's enough hard stuff in life to be concerned about. Also, I need to figure out if I wanted to have. And here she has like really steep bangs. I don't know if I want that. I guess we should draw them in for now. But be ready to. Don't get. We're not gonna get too attached to her bangs. We'll just use it as a mark to get her hairline or to get her face. There you go. But yeah, I was gonna say, I'm getting lost because this portrait is actually kind of hard. The shape of the face is hard to find. Okay, like I understand the idea behind like not being too hard on yourself about art and about having fun with your art, but at the same time, I feel like I need to grind. You know what I mean? I feel like I need to lock in. I feel like I need to lock in and really like become a better painter. Really, I need to be a better drawer. That's what I really need, like a better draftsman. Okay, we're already getting loose and cartoony. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to be realistic and intentional. So if I don't know something, I'm not going to just make it up here. I'm going to actually study my reference for a little bit longer. Okay. Yeah, this is when art becomes a little bit of like an actual like homework assignment rather than just a little fun play date. But that's good. I think that's good. We'll see how it all comes together when I have the outline done, and then we can kind of go a little further. See, this is difficult. This section right here, trying to divide all these shapes up, is kind of difficult. And I'm just going to estimate, because I can always come back and fix this. Her eyes are like here. This eye is like here. And the eyebrows come into the hairline. Let's see how that looks. The nose is relatively long. It's about... Her nose is pretty much definitely in the lower... So if this is face, we're half here and then a little bit lower than half. So if this is her face, half is here. A little bit lower than half is like here. Yeah, and then her mouth is here and here and here. And this eye is too far off. It should be here. I can't tell. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if it's wrong. We're gonna see if it's wrong. Her neck, relatively thin neck, definitely comes in like pretty much right up against her chin, which is interesting. I don't think I really ever see that. Her neck comes in like really thin around her, and this is too... Okay. Whew. Whew. Okay, this is getting a little intense. I actually want to pay attention this time. I don't want to just end up with a messy painting. But you know what? I want to show you guys why I'm being so hard on myself. I'm going to show you guys. So if you didn't see, this was the painting from last week. And I am not super happy with it. This was the reference. I think I lost a lot in the similarities, like just by not looking enough at the reference. And by like kind of being too laissez-faire, too laid back with like the drawing. So I really want to like up the patience and the intentionality behind this. Like I'm probably going to come back a couple times and like redraw over this just to make sure I have this right. Unless I get lazy and I forget. But her hand is, if it starts here, then that means it comes down. Her hand's pretty big, actually, considering. All things considered. This shoulder comes out here and sits about one head's length away, a little bit longer than one head's length. So like out here. And then the neckline we added in, if you missed it already, I added in this neckline because I felt like I don't really want her to be naked, just personal choice in this painting. Okay, I think things will start to make more sense once I add in some actual values and not just like lines. Okay, let's see. Let's take this arm down here, and then this pose is relatively difficult. Hey, Jane Lane. It's good to see you. Yeah, okay. I want to make sure I get this drawing relatively right. I feel like it's already wrong, but we'll find out. We will find out. That's the beautiful thing. There we go. There we go. Here, her arm. I added in a little puff of like shoulder or something. I'm not a fashion designer. I definitely should study fashion more, just for the sake of my painting. But yeah, see, this is already wrong. I can tell. Because the section in here is supposed to be much wider. And her arm is already too thin, if you look here. So we're going to finish this drawing, but I'm going to come back and edit it. Yeah, her arm is supposed to be like out here. And then come in, it ends shorter. So this is where this arm meets this arm, but it ends like up at where the little fat of her elbow. I don't know how to say it, but the part of the arm where the arm gets fat, when it folds in. If I knew anatomy, I could explain that better, but that's where this arm meets that arm. Boom, right there. And then underneath, so this line is here, and her arm comes underneath like this. There's her elbow, and then like that. This feels too long. This all feels too long. Okay. Then I also had to make up this because the real photo ended right here. If you see, there's a big sharp line right here. Because the real photo ended right there. And I had to add in like this little curve of the dress and everything. So yeah, I like that. I like the idea for doing that. I also like the idea maybe of her leaning on her hand and having her just one finger up like this. Okay, the issue we have is the drawing. There's something off in the midsection. So one choice we could do is be complacent and let it sit there and be wrong. Or we can kind of like smudge this out a bit and redraw it, which is what we're gonna do. So our issue was that it was too thin. That was the issue. Everything was too trapped in this like thin, narrow line, which I didn't like. Give me a second. I need a napkin or a washcloth. There we go. Now we're gonna look at ourselves. We're gonna look at ourselves in the mirror, and we're gonna find out the answer. What does her upper body really look like? That was like a cartoon version last time. I feel like sometimes I give myself the cartoon version of like actual drawings. Okay, let's see. Her head is this wide. That means her shoulders should be this wide from the edge. So her shoulder, wow, that's a lot. Okay, let's draw it in. Her shoulders should be actually end out over here. That's crazy. So the last time I did it, when I just eyeballed it, I ended it right here. But in reality, it's supposed to end all the way over here. That's crazy. That just goes to show like my vision isn't necessarily accurate all the time. What's the next thing I want to see? I guess we're good so far. Put that there. This is here, and then this would be here, which would lead out to this. And then it comes in curves right there. Now, with this side, I don't want to draw her hand right now. Honestly, I know I said we're going to man up, but I don't really want to draw her hand right now. We can draw that in a second. So as opposed to this, let's just see. If her heads are the same size, there we go. That means, yeah. That means that her, let's see. This shoulder level is that much lower, like one brush head's length lower. From the highest point to this point is like, yeah. Okay. From the highest point over here to the lowest point over here. Close. I actually got that measurement kind of right by eyeballing it. That's pretty close. I have never had the benefit of using a grid. I've definitely traced in the past, even the not so distant past. But I feel like I've never really been a grid fan. And I think that's a very academic thing to do. Like that's a very art school technique, using the grids. Her hand ends directly. We should probably smudge this out. Her hand ends directly at the intersection of, pretty much at this slant. So the slant starts here. No, lower here. Here. Her collarbones. And then she has her collarbones come here and here. And her hand starts directly, yeah. Okay, that works. That works. Her hand ends directly at the intersection of this collarbone. And then this comes here. Now, there's still a lot of size on the outside of the shoulder. So we need to make sure we don't cut off her shoulders. And then there's her knuckle, the knuckle of her elbow, of her wrist, which comes straight down here. And her arm, I drew it pretty much as a straight line first time, but looks like she actually has like good definition. So there's like a very clear, rounded kind of square shoulder. And then this comes down like this. And then I should probably measure this out. So if her face is this big, her shoulder comes down one's head length, like 1.5 head lengths. So if her face is that big, 1.5 face lengths. So her face is there. 1 and I think mine is too long. I think I overestimated that drawing. So like 1 probably should come in a little closer, like here. We'll see how this works out. This comes here and swoops down, which leads us to the straight line of this elbow, which connects here. It's more of like, not very pointy. Comes here in a little bit, and then this line takes over and finishes off like here. That's relatively accurate. It doesn't look good, but it is relatively accurate, I would say. Kind of rounded off. We can take some of this, take some of the edge off of this. See how that looks. Okay, I think one issue is the presence of the hand is not there. And the second issue is that this is wrong. We'll get rid of that. It should really be like, let's see if I can get it right. Like that. Does that look better? I'm not sure. Looks very stiff, but we're gonna see how we can kind of fix that later. Chest line, or the neckline, is gonna be here. It pretty much actually meets right at the... Ooh, I had like 7 false starts there. There we go. And I just freehanded this drawing, the dress drawing. There we go. Something feels very stiff about this drawing, but I'm not quite sure what it is. There we go. Let this kind of... I feel like that's the physics of it, but I have not really checked to make sure that makes sense. The way that this ruffle would like fall like that. I think it would fall more to the outside, would it not? Intuitively, my mind tells me that it would kind of fall like more in a straight line here, but then really collect itself over here at the end. That's just intuition. I'm not really sure if that's how anything works. We'll see how I like that later. It looked kind of droopy and sad, but that's my intuition. Okay, there we go. I'm proud of that so far. We're already almost 30 minutes in. That's crazy. That's insane. If you're watching live, thank you. If you're watching in the replay, thank you. I feel like I almost like the live streams. I don't want to say more, but they're very fun to do. They're very like, especially when people show up and people chat. That actually makes it really, really, really fun. Every once in a while, I'll get a stream where it's like really crazy fun. But even this is really nice and calm. Okay. Now we're here. I would love to do something, maybe not, I don't want to use the nude, but I think we could do a good job of like making her dress kind of translucent, where her skin is kind of like the dominant color, or like maybe like a 50-50 color with the actual color of the dress, and play with transparencies. That could be really fun. I'd have to see about doing that too. So I'm just gonna look at the negative shape here. There's a pretty easy straight line up until here, which connects, kind of comes up, and then connects to a line like this. And then this line, I feel like long curved lines are very difficult to get. There's so much nuance to it, and it's harder to anchor it to any specific point. There we go. I think, let's see. It comes down just a tiny bit lower than this elbow, so it should come out somewhere like here. Let's see. Relatively straight, kind of curves in, comes here, underneath, kind of straight, and then comes up to elbow. That feels too thick, but I think it's actually correct. It feels wrong, but I think that's actually the right shape. And then comes off here. I had to also improvise this. I don't know why I do this to myself, but I don't pick great references. Like, I don't pick references that are crystal clear, follow it to the book. For one, I like mash like 4 different references together, usually. And then I also pick references where like her hand is completely missing here. Like, there is no hand here. It is just wrist, a little bit of palm, and then like this is empty. So I had to improvise that triangle shape, which I think makes sense for the way her hand's kind of cupping her hip. Probably a straight line for her dress right there. And then this should meet here and then kind of come out for her hip, her other hip, her other side. Let's see. I like it. I feel like something here is too thin. I'm gonna give her a little more hip. Just feel like it doesn't make sense being that straight up and down. Let's give her a little more like direction to that. There we go. Let's add in a little bit of shadow here too, just to indicate we might go translucent later. Okay. So I have 2 thoughts. We could do a grisaille painting, which I am yet to really explore. I just want to put in a value real quick. Oh, we haven't even done her hand yet. I totally forgot. Just want to put in a loose value for just to follow along later. What I was saying is we could do a grisaille painting, just black and white, and then come back over it with colored like washes like this. I think that's how grisaille works. Or we could just straight up paint the colors in. But I'm almost kind of right now just like falling in love with the idea of doing a grisaille painting, just because I haven't really done one. I feel like that'd be a good learning experience. And who knows, that could open my mind up into doing grisaille now. Or grisaille. Somebody corrected me. I think it was Stephanie. Stephanie corrected me. I'm pretty sure now it's grisaille. Grisaille. And if I'm wrong, blame it on Stephanie. You can't blame it on me. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I think I want to do a grisaille. I think that's what I want to do. Just make sure everything is right, at least close enough to right. Another thing, and I know if you're watching this far in, there's a good chance you'll answer me. So, in the replay or in live stream, whichever one. I really want to start going to more exhibitions, and I don't want to miss, like, when famous artists or artists that I like, when they like come around, I don't want to miss. Um, I don't want to miss them coming like in like a big show. So I want to find a way that I can keep up with like any museum in like a 40 to 50 mile radius, maybe even more than that, like 100 mile radius, and keep up with what artists are showing, at what times, what days, and like new exhibitions. Like, I want to know how to keep up with more of that because pretty soon I think, or maybe if it's ongoing now, there's an Alphonse Mucha exhibit that I really want to go to. I don't know if it'd be worth the drive because it is kind of far from me, but it's like in the general close enough. I mean, it'd still be a bit of a drive though. But I would just love to keep up with that stuff more and actually be able to see like famous artists work live. There we go. Okay. I think her face is too small, but we're gonna find out. Does this look right? She has a really round hair shape. This should be more down like this and then come here. We also need to address this hand. No matter how hard it's going to be, we need to address the hand. Yeah, that's going to be tough. I can already tell. This hand's going to be tough. But what we can do in the meantime is we can do some of this background stuff. There we go. Okay, I hope my audio's on. I didn't check this time. Probably should have done that first. And then she has a coastline, which I think is very pretty. Little grass. The value instantly gets darker down here. And I think I'm going to leave out the fence. I don't like the fence too much. Just don't think it really adds anything. And I like the idea of her being like more in like the middle of nowhere in nature, rather than being like at some photo op. I can't forget, everything has a value too. I think the water's a little darker than the water should be. The water should be a little darker than it is now. Not that dark though. There we go. Okay, the only thing that kind of disturbs me right now is the face. So I think we're on a good path. Okay, now here's the thing. The painting is still really wet, and I don't know how much I want to do on this today. Hmm. Okay. Let me think. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get off the stream, and I think we'll come back when this dries. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, or maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Not sure. Um, but I want to wait for this painting to dry first before I really delve in deep. So, thanks guys for watching, and hope you guys will stay safe, and I'll see you guys later.